Welcome to 1023 Yoga. You've arrived. In this class, Pulses and Poses, I'm going to be showing my paramedic friends some ways to strengthen and lengthen muscles such as the quadriceps, the glutes in the buttocks, and the core, muscles that are used to lift patients up all day. So from stretcher to stretching, let's get it on. All right, so we're going to start lying down on our back today. If you have any low back issues, which many of us do in our professions, you can keep the knees bent and just rest the knees together with the feet wide. This will just allow the low back to relax, to open up. And you can place the arms alongside the body. And we'll just take a few minutes to settle in, slow the breath down, and arrive on our mats. A few deep breaths in and a few breaths out. Long inhales, long exhales. Notice where you can soften a little bit, whether it's the feet, the knees knocking together. If your legs are outstretched, same thing, noticing if you can let the full weight of the legs find the floor. Hips are soft, low back relaxed, belly soft, chest and shoulders, back and neck, arms and hands heavy, facial muscles soft, and just feeling the back of the head relaxed on the ground. You guys are often caring for patients, and now this is your turn to care for yourself. Couple more breaths. Eyes can be closed or finding a soft gaze. Good. When you're ready, if your knees are outstretched, you'll bend them. We're going to bring both knees into the chest and hug them, rocking from side to side, massaging that low back. And you're going to keep the right knee in. I'm going to clasp my hands around that knee as I extend the left leg long. From here, I'm pulling that knee into the chest, and I might even bring the head up to meet the knee. You can stay here, or you can lift that left foot off the ground. You can stay here, or you might extend the arms. So now I'm really activating the core, but I'm also getting length in the front of that left quadricep and hip. Breathing, noticing if the breath starts to pause or become shallow, and slowly bringing that back down. And we're going to simply switch into the other side. So clasping the fingers around the left knee and pulling that knee into the chest. You can stay right here. I can even feel a stretch already in that front hip. You might lift the head toward the knee. And from here, you could raise that right heel off the ground a few inches. You might stay here or perhaps extend the arms alongside the body. Again, noticing if that breath becomes shallow or short. This often happens in times of stress in our jobs. The breath tends to hold when your body is feeling tense or stressed out. So can you consciously lengthen the breath? Good. Slowly bringing the head back down, both knees back into the chest, and just releasing, rocking side to side. Good. Placing the feet flat on the floor. My arms are alongside the body. I'm going to tilt the pelvis so that you feel that sort of low back pressing into the ground. And then from here, continue to peel the spine off of the mat, lifting the hips towards the sky. You can stay here. Inhaling, you might go a little bit deeper by just sort of rolling the shoulders beneath your back. And you can either clasp your hands behind your back. This is a handcuff pose. That's for my guns and poses, folks. Or I sometimes like to just support the sides of my hips with my thumbs. And then I'm pressing into my heels and kind of lifting that front pelvis up a little higher. So this really helps open up those front hips, lengthening those front hips. And at the same time, you're actually activating your thyroid gland in your throat, promoting your metabolism. And then you're going to find an exhale to just roll down one vertebrae at a time onto the back. Good. Let's incorporate a couple times moving like that. So a moving bridge, which is inhaling to bring the pelvis up and exhaling to bring the pelvis down. A couple times with the rhythm of your own breath. Noticing there's a tendency for the knees to want to splay open wide in this posture. Try to keep them in line with your hips. Feet are still flat on the floor as I'm coming up and down. So you're getting some spinal mobility and some front hip opening at the same time. You're also engaging your buttocks muscles. You may notice when you reach the top of that inhale with the hips up, the butt tightens. So again, these are muscles that you guys use a lot when you're lifting patients and stretchers and gear throughout your duty. Good. When you find yourself back next on the ground, we're going to inhale the knees back into the chest and once again, rock from side to side. Good. Now bringing the palms behind the backs of the knees. Let's rock back and forth so that you're rocking the length of the spine. I actually quite like this pose. It's quite energizing and kind of fun as well. Find we get way too serious in life, especially in our jobs, and we have to remember to have fun. So, finding your way up, and we're going to spin around to the front. Okay. So from here, bring your left leg rather, in line parallel with the front of the mat. Back knee and back leg is parallel to the side of your mat. So you're in this sort of 90-90 pose, okay? Fingertips in front of that shin, inhaling to get length in the spine, and then exhaling to fold forward. Now this is targeting that outer hip and into the glute. So you have to listen to your body, how deep you can go, right? And I'm sure you guys can appreciate safety of joints and alignment and things with your patients. So same thing with your own body. Check in. How is this feeling? If it's tight, I might back off a little bit and keep myself up. Or if the body's allowing, I might come forward onto my elbows. Okay. You can walk to the left. That will ease the pose a little bit. Or if you walk to the right towards that foot, that's going to intensify that stretch. So find what works for you and take a few moments to breathe there. Noticing as you breathe, the body will allow you to soften a little more. So maybe you'll find that you can fold a little further or move your arms over towards that foot a little more. Good. Now coming back up onto the fingertips, raising up. And from here, bring that right knee forward and across. Now, from this pose, if you find that that back buttock is sort of floating, then just lengthen that left leg that we had bent, okay? And from here, we're gonna bring the right arm behind us as you lift and get length with the left arm and twist and exhale to the right. So I'm hooking my knee with that left elbow to give myself a little bit of extra twist. Not forcing anything, but it's helping me to find a little bit of a deeper twist here. Twists are excellent for the nervous system and for spinal mobility. Slowly inhaling back to center. I like to extend both arms and just do a gentle twist to the opposite side for a couple seconds just to counter that. And come back to center. Good. Now extend both legs and just give them a bit of a wiggle, bit of a jiggle. Make sure the corners of your mouth are coming up as well. Don't take it too seriously and kind of shake off anything that's been stressing you out. We don't need it right now. Let go. Okay, we're going to come into the other side. So I'm going to bend that right knee and find that shin parallel to the front of the mat. My back knee, left knee in this case, is going to be facing the side edge of my mat. Okay, that shin is parallel to the long edge. So again, different side, different feelings in the body, right? So this may be a little bit tighter or looser. Get that long inhale and then exhale to fold forward. Find the position that works for you. Again, ease back if it's a little too intense right away. As you breathe and soften into the pose, your body may allow you to fold a little further. Checking in with the mind as well. Is it wandering? Sometimes in holding postures, the mind tends to wander. Are we thinking about things that happened before, things we need to do? Let's try to bring the mind back to this moment to arrive right here. So you might deepen the stretch by turning over to that right foot a little further. That'll intensify the stretch on the outer hip. A few more breaths, long breaths. When you're ready, slowly coming back to center and pressing up on the fingertips and bringing that back knee forward and over. I'm going to cross that foot over the other knee. Now, again, if that buttocks is floating, which mine tends to do more so on this side, actually, it's quite tight on this hip for me. So I'm going to extend that bottom leg and I'm going to place the left hand behind me as I inhale, get length with the right arm and twisting over to the left, hooking that elbow on the knee. And your gaze can be forward or you can look behind you to get the full spinal twist from neck through thoracic to lumbar spine. Breathing, it becomes a little tighter to breathe when you're in a twist. So just notice that. Inhaling back to center and extending those arms again and just doing a quick, brief counter twist. Good. And back to center. Now, extend the legs, do one more shake up. Maybe include the arms a little bit, just sort of shake. I like to just scrunch the face, shake it out, right? Like it's sort of like the equivalent of an adult tantrum, like just give her, right? Like when do we ever get to do this? Damn it. Like, let it out, smile, laugh, feel silly. That's what this is all about. Okay, good. And then slowing it down and kind of notice the energy that you actually produced when you did that. Like, I can certainly feel my legs are buzzing, my breath is a little speedier, heart rate is up a little bit, and there's a bit of heat. So just notice that. Okay. So we're going to bring the feet together into this butterfly pose. Sometimes it can be helpful to sit on a little cushion or pillow if you find that you're really rounding when you sit like this. That's very common. So you can always sit on a little pillow to just sort of push the pelvis forward. Okay. But we're going to have this large diamond shape. Okay. So the heels aren't too close to the groin, they're a little bit further away. That way we're targeting into the hips. And we're going to get length as we inhale and exhale forward. Okay. And noticing, like I said, that energy that you produced when that heart rate comes up. This is all about pulses, right? Pulses and poses. So let's slow that pulse down now. Okay. Good. And the goal here isn't necessarily to have your forehead touching your heels. That's not necessary. So if you need to keep some length, again, if things are tight in the back, then just keep that length. Stay upright a little bit, right? And you might notice that intensifies the stretch inside the hips. Okay. Sometimes I like to just flutter the knees a little bit. This is known as butterfly pose, and it's or a variation of. And so, kind of like a butterfly, just sort of fluttering the knees up and down a little bit. That can help loosen the hips, encourage that synovial fluid into the joints. Good. And then slowly begin to roll up. So now do curve your spine and come up one vertebrae at a time. The head will be the last to come up. And when it does, the shoulders will come up to the ears as I breathe in, and then I'm going to exhale. Let it go. Let the shoulders drop from the ears. Let everything go. Good. Now let's spin the legs around so that we come to all fours. So from all fours, let's inhale to lift that right knee up, and exhale, bring that knee towards your forehead. Inhale the knee up. So I'm activating that glute muscle and my hamstring. Exhaling to round the knee to forehead. A couple more times. Inhaling up. Exhaling to round. Good. Here's for the change. We're going to inhale up, and then I'm going to bring that knee through and place the foot between the palms. Good stuff. Now check in with that back knee. Does it need any extra padding? You can either fold the mat over or have a cushion or pillow that you can place under the knee. From here, you're going to inhale the arms up and overhead, and then sink into that hip. So you're getting a nice stretch along the front of this hip. And this is one of my favorites. It's a nice counter stretch to all the sitting that we do often in our shifts. You guys are sitting in the trucks a lot, in the transport vans all the time. It's the sitting that just wreaks havoc, right? Like, this is a nice counter to that. So lifting the arms up, getting a stretch from chest all the way to that knee. Good. Breathing. And then from here, I'm going to exhale the palms down, and I'm going to lengthen that front leg, getting a nice deep stretch in that back of the leg and the hamstring. Okay. Fingertips can be on the ground to kind of elevate. You can also use blocks. If you have books, that can be a substitute as well. Good. Inhaling forward. Now let's lift that knee rather. Place the foot down into a 45-degree angle, coming up into a warrior one. Now again, I'm still getting into that front hip. Now I'm feeling it in the calf. And that's a good one for wearing those duty boots all the time and stepping up and in and out of your truck. This is good for the calf stretch. Notice if the shoulders are creeping up to the ears. They tend to do that. Can you bring them down? Good. And on your next exhale, bring the palms down. Step the back foot forward to meet the sibling foot. And you're going to exhale and fold here. Now, if the hamstrings are super tight or you have low back issues, you can always bend the knees deeply and rest the forearms on your thighs. Inhaling to get length, palms to shins. Exhaling, palms on the ground. I'm going to step back into a plank pose. Okay. From here, as I inhale, I'm getting strength and length. And then I'm going to exhale, coming down chest before hips. You can always lower your knees first. Untuck the toes. Now I'm going to inhale into a cobra. Palms are below my shoulders. And exhaling, forehead down. Going to retuck the toes, press up to all fours. Let's take a brief child's pose just to counter that back bend. And back to all fours. Coming into the other side. So from here, I'm going to inhale the left knee up and back and exhale, rounding to forehead. Inhaling up, activating the glute and hamstring, exhaling to round. If there's ever any issue in your wrists as well in these poses, you can always come to fists. It's a nice alternative. And one more time, inhaling up. And now here's for the change. I'm going to exhale that knee through, step the foot forward. Good. From here, inhaling, arms up, exhaling, shoulders down, and sinking into that front hip stretch in your low lunge. Breathing, noticing if the breath is growing shallow. You guys do that on duty all the time, checking people's respiratory rate. So don't forget to check your own, right? So we're inhaling and exhaling. Good. Now on your next exhale, I'm going to fold those palms down to meet the ground as I extend that front leg just to get that brief counter stretch into the back leg, into the hamstring, on my fingertips or blocks. You could even use rolled up 511 tack pants if whatever you need for props. Just have to be creative. Good. And then I'm placing the palms forward. I'm going to lift that back knee and we're coming into that warrior one pose on the other side. So that right foot's coming to a 45-degree angle. Find that foundation, really press down into the ground. Inhale, arms up. Notice again, the shoulders, are you wearing them like earrings? Bring it down. Good. Inhale and exhale. Awesome. Now find your next exhale to fold the hands back down. And again, step that back foot forward into your forward fold. Now here's the change. We're going to inhale the arms up and overhead, and then you're going to exhale into a chair. Okay. So chair from the side looks something like this. Okay. Now, this is a good one. This really strengthens the quads, the buttocks, the glutes, everything's activated. Even the core, you can feel that, and everything's activated. This is sort of the motion when you're lifting at work, right? So you can even go ahead and add that movement of inhaling up, exhaling down. In fact, let's do that together. So inhaling and exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down. So really getting that strength and length. Good. Couple more times as a moving chair. Lengthen that breath, lengthen those muscles, exhale and soften. Good, 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 good. And then come up and bring the palms to heart center. Let's find a mountain pose. So what that looks like, if you're fairly new to yoga, it seems like a straightforward pose, but there's actually a lot of components to it. Feet are hip width apart. There's a slight bend in the knees. Hips are in line with the knees. And my shoulders are open and back. Palms are facing forward at the side of the body. You can find what's known as a drishti or focal point in front of you, or you may close the eyes. And just take a couple of breaths here. Scanning the body, noticing changes that you may feel since you started your practice. Again, you folks are often checking everyone else's body, and this is the time to check in with your own. Good. Slowly fluttering the eyes open if they're closed, shaking some limbs. Now, this is something I love teaching in person, kind of like what I had you do on the ground. Let's just start flailing limbs around, no pun intended for first responders with limbs flying around. Just start letting go, right? So I do this, I teach a lot of police officers this in person, and it goes over really well because especially in a group, people are just laughing and we look ridiculous and things are jiggling and like, who cares, right? So um, just let it go and kind of bounce, swing, sway. You can flutter the lips, you can smile. Um, you know, we don't do this stuff, right? And this helps shake shit off. It helps let go of stuff that we see and the burdens that we carry from our day-to-day duties. So just doing this, just let it go, right? And then just briefly come back into that mountain pose, just slowing down and just finding that stationary pose for a second and just noticing that pulse, noticing that breath, noticing how you feel. Good. So from here, we're going to come into some balancing. Um, and if you have trouble with your balance, then you're more than welcome to use a wall to assist. So we'll start with that left foot. I like to make sure my toes are spread nice and wide, and there's a slight bend to that knee. I'm basically going to reach behind and grab that right foot. And most of us know this stretch, from working out in the gym. This is a very common stretch for the front of the quadriceps. So use this to again counter the sitting that happens in our job, the heavy gear, heavy and hot in the summer gear that we wear. Counter all that tightness by really accentuating, and you can actually come into a dancer's pose, which is hinging forward. So I'm going to find a focal point as I'm hinging forward. I'm still breathing, check in with that breath, right? And then I'm going to inhale and come back up. Good. Release that foot, just shake it out, shake the standing foot out. And we'll just simply come into the other side. So spreading those toes, planting that foot, the slight bend in that knee, and reaching behind for that foot. And again, start here. This can be quite a deep stretch for many folks. And in fact, some people may not be able to reach the foot, and that's totally fine. If you're wearing pants, you can always grab the pant. Okay, there's other options. You can lift that opposite arm, and maybe as you exhale, finding a focal point. Maybe you're coming into that dancer pose. Breathing, noticing the breath, check in. Inhaling to come up and exhaling to release that foot. Gently shake that out. Shake out the other one. Excellent. All right, from here, feet are hip width apart. I'm going to inhale, circle the arms up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to bring the feet back together into a plank. I'm going to exhale, lowering down. Knees can come down first if you need. And then I'm going to untuck the toes. And from here, let's come into a cobra pose. So as I'm lifting my chest, my arms are going to come forward and my elbows are placing beneath my shoulders. If this is too deep for the low back, simply slide the arms forward to decrease the intensity. Okay. So let's find a few breaths here. Again, this is part of that lengthening of that front body. Actually, isn't the snake is a symbol in health, right? So I know I'm full of cheesy jokes. I always am. So think of this as your cobra health pose, okay? So you're getting length in the abdomen, the quadriceps, even the throat as my chin is up. You can even take the eyes up and strengthen your eye muscles. It seems like a simple pose, but there's actually a lot going on here. Good. And check in with that breath. Check in with those shoulders. Are they up? Are they tight? Can you lengthen the neck? Okay. Good. And then find your exhale to bring the forehead down and just place the palms, elbows bent, palms beside the head, and just wiggle the tail back and forth just to loosen that, release that. Good. And from here, take your gaze over to the left so that you're laying on your right cheek. And you can slide that knee up so that you're facing that knee. This is a nice way to open the inner hip. It's a nice way to cool down. And we'll slowly find our way to the opposite cheek and opposite knee. So I'm going to turn my head the other way and bring that other knee up. Keeping the breath steady, nice and long, cooling down. Good. I'm going to slowly bring that leg down, forehead back to center. And from here, placing the palms below the shoulder and tucking the toes, preparing to press up to all fours. Core is activated here. Okay, and then we're going to counter that back bending we did by coming into a child's pose. So buttocks towards the heels. If the forehead seems to be floating or things are tight in the body in this pose, you can always stack your palms or fists rather on top of each other to help elevate the ground. Good. Just countering the medical cobra pose you did, the serpent. All right. Coming back up to all fours and just leaning onto one side so that you can come down to the butt where we started. So, facing the way we started, we're going to just work a little bit on core. As I said in my intro, this class was specifically for strengthening and lengthening the muscles that you guys use in your day to day with lifting people and heavy gear and stretchers and such. So for this, core is a big part of that. You've already done some of that within the postures, but this is to really focus on it. So I'm on the tip of my tailbone here. I'm going to lean back. Okay. If you have any back issues that are really causing any pain, please use the palms as a bit of a guide here, okay? Or a crutch, rather. A crutch. Hey, that's another good cheesy one for you guys. Use the palms as a crutch, okay? So I'm going to inhale the knees up like so. You could have one foot down, one foot up. But the idea is core is activated. So you might bring the palms forward if you don't need extra support for the back. Okay. So here, I can actually feel my quads are activated as well as my core. Okay. So check in with the breath. This is known as boat pose, Navasana in Sanskrit. And then slowly exhale, bring the feet down. Inhale to look up and exhale to round the spine. Inhaling up, exhaling to round the spine. We're going to prepare for round 2 here. So again, feet are flat. I may use the hands or not. Lifting the feet, lifting the arms, and breathing here. Checking in with the breath. This is where it really can get shallow. And then placing the feet down. This time, bringing the heels a little closer. Come into tree stump pose. So you're sort of hugging the knees. I'm going to rock from side to side on my buttocks. And we'll prepare for a final round of boat. So coming back into your setup, feet a little bit further forward, leaning back, finding what you need to get started, inhaling up. Now this is where I like to teach my police officers in person. I take them on a boat ride. So let's grab our oars and start paddling. So now you're getting into the sides, getting into those obliques. Make sure you're breathing, okay? Side to side, feeling that heat. 3, 2, 1, and come back to center. One more time in tree stump pose to counter that. Rocking from side to side. Good. And now we're going to slowly roll ourselves down to the back, making sure you don't have anything behind you, and you can use the core as you come down, one vertebrae at a time. Head finally reaches down. Bring those knees back into the chest like we did at the beginning and rock from side to side. Good. Placing the feet on the floor so they're below the knees. You can extend the arms out. I'm just going to move over a little bit. You can extend the arms out into a T. You're going to lift the hips and shift them over to the left, just an inch or so. The knees are going to come up into the chest, and then you're going to exhale them over to the right. Okay, and I'm going to take my gaze over to that extended arm, in this case, my left arm. So the priority here in this pose is that that left shoulder is laying on the ground. So you're getting an opening in the chest and shoulder. So if you find that it is sort of floating off the ground like so, or your knees are floating up and things are tight, find something that you can place below the knees as a way to elevate the ground. Because when you do elevate those knees a little bit, all of a sudden that shoulder will come down like that. Okay. So again, it could be, you improvise, it could be a rolled up pair of 511s and you just bunch them up right here. And then that gives that little bit of lift to the knees. Okay. So finding our cool down here in a twist, getting a stretch along the outside of the hip and IT band, getting a stretch across the chest and shoulder. And you're also twisting the spine, calming the nervous system. Couple of breaths. When you're ready, the head comes back to center, the knees follow and come to center, and we're going to just switch by lifting the hips and moving them over to the other side. So in this case, would be over to the right a couple inches. You're going to inhale the knees up into the chest and exhale down to the left. So my left palm is going to rest on the top knee, and I'm going to take my gaze to that extended arm. Again, reminder, if you find this happening, if this shoulder is floating like this, your priority is to have it on the ground. So you just need to have something placed below the knees to lift them up like so, or between the knees as well. That can sometimes help too. Cooling down, calming down. If you notice any numbness or tingling in that extended arm, it's not a cardiac event. It is simply a pinched nerve. And usually, if you lower the arm down, it should resolve that. It just did for me. Couple more breaths, letting the body cool down and slow down. And when you're ready, inhaling the head back to center and following with the knees and placing the feet back down and bringing the hips back to center. Good. From here, bringing the knees into the chest, you're going to reach through and grab the outside edge of the feet and bringing them up towards the sky. So this is known as happy baby pose. And you can rock from side to side. I like to do that because you're actually massaging the adrenal glands. Those are often working overload in our professions. And this can be a nice way to massage those. And the natural rocking just helps the nervous system settle down. And you might find stillness and allow the hips to grow heavy so that they open. We carry a lot of tension and trauma in our hips, stress, all that stuff. So notice where you can soften those hips as you're in this position. Good. And as we prepare for final relaxation pose, we'll bring the feet down. You can extend the legs the length of your mat, which is the traditional posture. As I said in the beginning, though, if there's back issues, sometimes it's nice to keep the knees bent and maybe knocked together like so with the feet wide, helps ease the low back. You can also place those rolled up pants or a rolled up blanket underneath the knees. Okay. So taking a few minutes here to just settle in to your final posture, extending the legs, extending the arms, closing the eyes if it's comfortable to do so, and conducting that body scan. Okay, it's like you do for so many of your patients. You're scanning and checking their body. So let's take a moment and do that for yourself. You can start with the feet, noticing the toes. Can they soften a little bit? The heels are in the floor, the calves, the knees, the thighs, and the buttocks. Doing your primary scan here, okay? Primary and secondary scans coming up to the stomach and chest and shoulders, the arms, the hands, the fingers are soft. The neck and the back of the head, the scalp relaxed. I should have mentioned that you might even wish to remove a ponytail or glasses for that added comfort. Softening the face, the jaw, gently parting the teeth, and taking these next few moments to completely relax and arrive. And slowly deepening the breath here, just noticing, and feel free to rest longer if you need. Otherwise, bringing some natural movement back into the fingers and toes, maybe gently rocking the head from side to side, maybe taking a stretch with the arms up overhead, inhaling to get that length, and exhaling to let it all go. Bringing the knees into the chest, around the spine, rock from side to side, and slowly finding your way over to the right in a fetal position. Taking a moment here, rounding the spine, and when you're ready, pressing up and finding a seated position. Just taking a moment to notice the difference from when you started your practice. How does the body feel? How does the breath feel? Do you feel more tired? Do you feel more energized? Or do you feel the same? And that's totally fine. A few deep breaths with the shoulders up to the ears, back and down, up, back and down. And one more, inhaling up and exhaling down and let go. Good. I thank you very much for joining me here. And if you have found this helpful and you had a good time, hit that subscribe button, give me a like, and share with other first responders, please. Until next time, guys.